When you think about Big Ten mindset, Big Ten mentality, what do you want your guys to understand about that style of football?
Well, first of all, it starts with us. And our approach is to be a physical team, regardless of our opponent, right? And yes, there is what's the right word for it? Perception of the Big Ten being a physical team, right? Physical conference. But that's part of our DNA too. That's what we're trying to build this program on, is being physical. So it's more about us and what we bring to the table than it is about Illinois and their history or the history of the Big Ten.
So week one with this offensive line playing together, one, how did they play? And then two, how did they stack up in that physical department?
Yeah. It gelled. It came together. Obviously, you see we start off a little slow running the football, which that was kind of to be expected. So those guys can just work some combinations and blocks. And, Richmond, they fought, they strained. And then we got into a little bit of rhythm being able to run the football. So, yes, there's things to clean up. We did a good enough job to win that game, but we got to do better to win this game at Illinois.
You had a true freshman there at left tackle.
Correct.
I think I asked you, but you'd never had that before in your.
I have with Ekwonu at North Carolina State.
That's a good one.
Yeah, not bad.
How did he?
Go ahead.
How would you evaluate his play?
Mikhail, he didn't have any warts, right? But there's things to get better, right? And it's a different competition this week coming up. Different type of athlete, different type of player he's going against. So we all got to raise our game, coaches and players.
Now that Paris Jones has kind of gotten his feet wet in the game, what would you like to see him do to kind of elevate his game?
Yeah.
What does he need to do?
Well, you got to stay consistent, right? So now he set the floor, right? He set the expectations, and he's been building that way in training camp. So now it's consistent to continue to do that, right? Like anything, you look back at it, there's one or two, if I recall, that he probably missed a run. He protected. Okay, got to be better at that. Everybody, we all got to improve. So, but he did enough to say, okay, we know what to get from you every week.
Did he come out of just one follow-up? Did he come out of training or spring practice kind of as the number one tailback, or
no,
did
nobody
he win that
did.
this summer? Okay.
Yes, it was throughout the summer and training camp.
How does preparation change when they've got a couple of former NC State assistants, guys you've worked with? How does preparation change at all?
It doesn't change. I've changed since the last time I worked with them. So, and Coach Elliott, we're working together. So, nothing changes there. I say, hey, tell them before the game and try to kick their butts during the game. So.
You and Coach both mentioned that the drops is something that had to get better. There was
Correct.
also a fumble in there from Wicks, which is rare. Coach Elliott yesterday pointed out the guys are playing a ton of snaps.
Yes.
Not making an excuse, but that maybe fatigue plays into that.
Yeah, yes, they did play a lot of snaps, but again, we talk about ball security all the time, right? And I believe we had 12 possessions, three punts, 2 were in the half, so that's 5, right? There's 7 other, and we had 2 turnovers, right? So we cannot afford to have turnovers, right? With that, so that's been a point of emphasis, right? We possess the football, all right? We reserve the right to score. When we don't have the football, it's hard to score the football, and we put our defense in a disadvantage, regardless of how many snaps you play. If it requires you to play 90 snaps, then every time you touch the ball, you're expected to take care of the football, and no matter who it is in the game.
But are you closer to having some depth and playing them fewer snaps, or do you think this week you're at the same kind of routine?
It's Wednesday's practice. We have 2 more days to determine that. So, yeah.
With the new coaching staffs, sometimes you guys get new opportunities. Yeah. With Paris, kind of, what did y'all see from the spring to the fall that kind of shot him into this opportunity and made y'all confident in him?
Consistency, right? I mean, he has ability. All the guys got ability in that running back room, but who's consistent? Right? Who's not making mistakes? Who's pass protecting? Who's taking care of the football, ball security, and then who's maximizing the opportunities when they do get it? And he's the guy that checked all those boxes from summer through training camp.
Ronnie Walker was kind of set loose out there in practice.
Yes.
How do you like to see from him?
It's good to see Ronnie, and hopefully every day he builds confidence so that he can come back and help us. Because coming out of spring, Ronnie was a guy, until he got injured, was a guy we were all excited about because every day, going back to what we talked about, he was very, very, very consistent every day, had some leadership about him, so that really excites us about Ronnie.
And we talked about physicality of Illinois. What else stands out for you about?
They're aggressive defense. Played aggressive against Indiana. They got a couple guys that I got a lot of respect for on that defense side of the ball. I mean, number 30, he flashes. The guys all over the field. The corner, number 31. The guys up front. Coach Bielema is a defensive line coach in his background, so you know that side of the ball is gonna have a lot of pride about how they play. So it's about us going up there and taking our pride to Illinois and get a chance to go win this game.
We've got Ronnie and Jack.